Edward the Blue Engine. Edward was the first character introduced into the Railway series books in 1945's The Three Railway Engines. He had not been out for a long time, overlooked by the driver and fireman in favor of bigger, stronger engines. But the driver felt sorry for Edward and gave him a run again to make him feel useful again. Edward first arrived on the railway back in the early days from the Furnace Railway, around the same time as Thomas, during a locomotive crisis, and was later bought for a nominal sum. Shortly after returning to work, Edward was moved to Wellsworth, where he lived and worked ever since. It was here he helped push Gordon up the hill and was subsequently forgotten by boastful Big Engine, but rewarded by his driver for his kindness and hard work with a new coat of paint. He returned to the big station to shunt coaches for Gordon, James, and Henry, who were on strike and not willing to shunt like common tank engines. The engines were not happy that Edward was setting a precedent for the others. They called him a black wheel and hissed rudely at him as they passed by. But despite the other engines teasing or thinking ill of him, Edward has often shown himself to be a hero in more ways than one. He saved Trevor, the traction engine, from being scrapped by pursuing the vicar to buy him, and gave a tremendous effort when he chased a runaway James up the main line after silly boys had meddled with his controls and ran away. But his proudest moment was when, against all odds, he brought a train of visitors home after one of his crank pins broke, causing his side rods to fly up and damage his frame and splasher. Without side rods, it was very difficult to start the train again on the main line, but with a valiant effort, brave Edward brought the train home once again. That's another reason why I like him. In spite of everything, boastful engines like Gordon and Spencer still don't see Edward's true worth as a really useful engine. After Duck got stuck on Gordon's hill with a train of troublesome trucks, Gordon stuck too when he tried to push him over the hill. But it didn't take long for Edward to get the train back in motion and back over the hill again, leaving Gordon feeling quite ashamed and apologetic. Spencer was also confident that he could outrun the old engine in a race, but became so complacent that he fell asleep when he thought he was far ahead to win, only to be trumped by slow and steady Edward at the last minute. You go, Edward. Determined and wise, Edward is a mainstay of the Fat Controller's Railway. Always ready to go the extra mile and prove his doubters wrong, Edward is well respected where it matters, particularly because he can keep cheeky little engines like Bill and Ben in order, which engines like Gordon can truly appreciate.